to my channel. This is day 7 in my 7 Days of Beauty and the Beast series, which must mean that the film comes out today, even though, as I've said yesterday, I can't go and see it today, and it's still a sore point, so we won't talk too much more about that. But this final video is going to be, sorry, I need to swallow, it's going to be a Beauty and the Beast Cover Wars edition. We're going to be talking about what I consider to be the attractive cover for a book and the less attractive cover for a book. I've kind of been wanting to do this for a while, and I figured why not crowbar it into my Beauty and the Beast series, and that is so not a crowbar. I don't know, that's more like a screwdriver. Moving on. So I thought I'd start off talking about some of the covers for The Martian by Andy Weir. This is what I consider to be the beauty among the collection. I really love the colours of the dust storm. I love the fact that The Martian is being sucked into it, to the point that actually the whiteness of his spacesuit is not as white as the whiteness of The Martian and Andy Weir written there. It's almost like he's already half consumed by Mars. But most of all, I think what I love about this cover, especially when compared to the others, is that there is space. It gives the feeling of emptiness. The astronaut is not filling the whole cover. And that's appropriate because he is stranded on Mars. He is lost and alone and isolated, and this one is the only one of all that I have seen that has that feeling. But then we go to the UK paperback, which is this guy right here, and I don't like real life models on covers anyway, with some exceptions, including one in this video, I think. I don't like it, and I especially don't like this much. This is too much face in my face. Again, there's no empty space here. Well, there's like a little bit under his chin, which doesn't count. He's filling the whole front cover, and I don't like it. What does that say to me, except that there's a handsome man with orange tones? It says nothing. And the thing that is supposed to say something is the fact that there's some visor reflection at the top of the cover, but that's really subtle. I actually didn't notice that for a while. It just looks like a face, when in fact it's a face within a space helmet. Then we move on to the film covers. First up, I'll put the UK one here, which has Matt Damon's face, and as much as I love Matt Damon, I don't want that much of Matt Damon. That again is a bit too much face in my face, and it still doesn't say much, although you can see more of the helmet. The US version is pretty much the same thing. The title and the author order has been reversed. Moving on, what's my next one? Ah, My Lady Jane. So I actually don't have particularly strong feelings for the beauty that I've chosen. This is the US edition. It's a hardback. Again, it's a lot of face, but it's also a lot of costume, and it's nice to pick out the details in that. It's quite a strong, bold choice to have the title filling the whole front cover. And it's also quite a, not clashing, but it's this bright coral colour which doesn't really have any sympathy with anything else in the picture, so it was quite a bold choice, I think. It's not bad, but it is a thing of beauty in comparison to the UK cover. And what were they thinking? This is hideous. This looks like a gag gift. This is like one of those parodies that you get, like the Twilight saga. This is not something that I want to spend money on. Next up we have Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornall, and this is another win for the American cover designers. This is the beauty, and it's an easy choice to make. I think this cover is gorgeous, not just under comparison, but it stands alone as a gorgeous cover. I love this watercolour marbling at the top. I love the font. I love the detail of the birdcage and the fact that it stands out so prominently against the white background. The fact that you can see that the little birdcage door is in fact open and that the bird is heading out of that door. And I particularly love the fact that the chain that the cage is hanging on is actually composed of a string of words. I think it's a lovely cover, and it's quite simple but effective. The UK cover, on the other hand, there's nothing like abhorrent about it. I'm not offended by this cover, but it is really, really generic. It comes in 3 different shades of pink, and I'm not quite sure why that decision was taken. The birdcage door is open in this one, but it's open on the reverse of the cage, so that I assume the heart is meant to escape through it, but just because of the way it's laid out in the angles, it's really not anywhere near as clear as the US version what's happening in that image. And it really looks like Forever by Judy Blume, is it? I think she had this kind of bubblegum pink cover as well for Forever. My neighbour started drilling, that's convenient. So anyway, I just feel like I've seen this cover many times before and I'm not over fond of it. The Shatter Me trilogy by Tara Maffey is quite well known for its beautiful covers. This is the beauty that you'll find in the US and in the UK. Each of the covers has this eye on the front cover. And the eye for the first book I sort of think of as the autumn eye, because the trees making up the eyelashes are barren, kind of highlighting the lack in the main character of Juliet's life. And then in the second book, Unravel Me, it's the winter eye where everything is frozen and she is in stasis. And then in the third book, Ignite Me, it's spring and everything is budding into life, and so is Juliet. So it's a really well thought out artistic direction across the series. These are great covers. But one of the first things I noticed when I moved to Australia was the Australian cover, which I think might be the most revolting cover I've ever seen. So it's a real life model with this big wedge of hair going across her face. They've kind of made her eyes look purple. There's no effort has been made with this cover. It's like stock photography. Like, this'll do. Yeah, this is not a good cover. This is the beast. I recently hauled this beautiful edition of A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and I paid quite a lot of money to get this edition because I just love it so much. It's the US version, and the art is so unique. I love looking at it. I really don't feel like I've seen this before. I feel like that suits what I'm hearing about V.E. Schwab's writing style, because I hear that she's got quite an individualistic author voice, and this art is also very unusual, so I think that works. And again, I like the presence of vacant space. Stop it, please stop it. Can you hear that? Oh, it probably just sounds like a wasp or something to you. It's really irritating. It's like a mosquito in the night. So I like the fact that the character is very clearly stepping between worlds, between Londons. And also I wonder, I might have to check in a minute if it's a third person retelling, because the fact that we're seeing him from above sort of highlights the fact that we might, as the reader, be getting a bird's eye view of the events. So this is the beauty. Then we have the UK cover, which is this one here, which I really can't say is a beast. I like the positioning of the feet, again treading on different coloured Londons, and I do like the fonts, and it's quite mysterious, but other than that, it's not generic, but it's not unique either. It feels a bit more familiar and just doesn't feel very special. Finally, it's a win for the UK cover designers, because this is the beauty among the And I Darken by Kirsten White cover options. This is the UK cover, and I absolutely love it, even though it has a model on the front, because her expression is just so perfect for a female Vlad the Impaler. She looks so fierce. I love her face paint. I love the rich, dark tones of it. It's really moody. It really works for me. So this is the beauty. But then we move on to the US version, which I cannot call the beast, so I'll call it the pretty, because that's really all it is. It's kind of symbolism by numbers. You have a sword cutting through a flower, which is heavy-handed. This is not ugly in any way. This is a pretty cover, but it's not the best cover. Continuing the UK cover resurgence, I have actually just changed my mind about the beauty in this next pairing, because the more I look at the UK cover for The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adair, the more I love it. It's another fierce-faced female model filling the cover. The positioning is perfect, particularly the positioning of the title is perfect, because the ampersand falls over the model's mouth, and this is a retelling of 101 Nights, where the original character Scheherazade is telling a new story every night to her new husband to try and extend her life. So, and she's trying to pass it off really as one extended story. So it's like this story and this story and this story and this story, this never-ending sentence, this never-ending story. And that's what I read into the positioning of the ampersand, whether it's correct or not. But I also love the richness and opulence of the colours. They're not overly detailed, there's like just enough depth and gradient to the colours, but it does kind of look that they've taken a filter on Instagram and just sort of put it over the original photograph. And it works so well, it makes me think of Arabian silks and heavy brocades. I love it. So anyway, that's the beauty of the Wrath and the Dawn covers, but the US cover is no beast. I actually own this one back in Australia and it's beautiful, but I do remember when I received it that I was a little bit disappointed because you can see that the image is of a girl peeking through the cutwork lattice of a screen. But when I got it, I remember thinking I wish that the sleeve had been the lattice screen and it had had actual cutouts. And then when you pulled that back, directly printed onto the hardboards would be the harem girl. And she'd finally be uncovered when you pulled back the sleeve. But I do understand that doing that, like that would have got absolutely butchered on bookshop shelves because every time it got slid in, the cutwork, the sort of the sharp corners on the cutwork would get blunted and peeled back and it would have been wrecked. But it sort of visually and as an idea it would have worked better for me. As it is, the girl is shown on the end papers, so I suppose that's how they dealt with the issue. But this is not my favourite anymore, and that's a turn up for the books. Next we have Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and this is the beauty I'm saving myself up for. This is the US edition, and actually it's more of a comparative favourite because otherwise I don't have any particularly strong feelings for it, but I do love the different colours of blue, and actually I do have strong feelings about the positioning of the text on this cover because I think the layout is really, really good, and there's something about the mathematics of how much of the width of the cover the title takes up really works for me. I think it's a really perfect percentage. I can't explain it, but I really like it. The UK cover, and I've seen this one crop up in a few similar cover comparison videos, and no one seems to have such a strong reaction as me to this, but I hate it. I think this is so poorly executed. I think the girl on the front is really flat and she's like the worst kind of CG character I've ever seen. I think my camera must like this cover because it just cut out, but I hate it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Moving on to An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I have read this one but I don't own it yet, and when I do buy it it'll be the US one that I go for because I think this cover best sums up the story. The fact that it's very Roman inspired, very desolate, the fact that the characters are pitted against such great odds, because you can see in the cover that the humans on it are disproportionately small against the backdrop. The UK cover is next, and I actually really like the idea for this, the fact that the characters are in the ember and then there's sparks coming off of it. The idea is really good, and actually when I look at it on a screen it works, but when I've seen it in the flesh it doesn't work. It becomes really flat, and those sparks off of the ember, they just look like coloured circles. They just look like bokeh in a photograph. It really doesn't work in execution. So I think I'd better stop right there. I do have more covers to compare, but my camera keeps cutting out, letting me know that this video is already more than long enough. There are 6 other videos in my 7 Days of Beauty and the Beast series, which I will link down below. Please go check them out and let me know what you think. Subscribe to see whatever I do next because I actually don't know yet. I'll have to film that when I come back from London. And do let me know, preferably on Twitter. If you want to go follow me at Bookerly Jones, that would be great. Let me know when you go and see the live action with Emma Watson. Let me know what you think. You might end up seeing it before me, for which I am jealous, but I hope it goes okay. Like, I do have my anxieties, but it seems like it's going to be a magic experience even if it's not a perfect adaptation. So anyway, enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed these, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!